What's up, my friend? Abby here, and welcome back to Writer's Life Wednesdays, where we come together to help you make your story matter. Today's video is a little bit different because we're just gonna kind of be doing like a little fun holiday-themed recap, end-of-year recap, and taking stock, and I'm going to be answering your questions. So I'm actually taking the rest of December off to enjoy the holidays and also go on my annual What's Next retreat. I'll talk about that in a minute. So I thought it would be fun to do a little 2019 wrap-up video and make it super fun by having you guys ask me questions. So a couple weeks ago, or last week, I guess, I posted on my Instagram story and had you guys ask me questions for this video. So today I'm going to be answering as many of those as possible and also giving you a little update and a little sneak peek of what is coming to the channel in 2020. Let's go. First off, 2019, wow. What a whirlwind of a year. So much happened in 2019. It was a crazy busy year, but it was a good year. It was a really good year. And it's really the first year that the Writer's Life Wednesday community has grown significantly, and I'm just so freaking grateful that you're here. YouTube emailed me a week ago with like their little yearly breakdown thing and told me that I posted over 50 videos this year and that 17,000 of you guys showed up and subscribed to this channel. Wow. Can I just stop everything and say thank you from the bottom of my heart? Thank you for being here. I seriously couldn't do any of this without you. Story is my passion, as you probably noticed, since I can't shut up about it. And I'm so happy and excited that you are here to share in this passion with me, this passion for storytelling and creating stories that matter. And it's just been so amazing to see this community grow in 2019, and I cannot wait to see where 2020 takes us. One of my absolute highlights of 2019 was definitely publishing my debut novel, 100 Days of Sunlight. If you've been here for literally any amount of time, you've probably heard me ranting about 100 Days. It came out on August 7th, 2019, and that was just such a monumental day for me. I cried, I freaked out, I screamed. You guys came to celebrate with me. It was just so amazing to finally be able to make my author dreams come true. Like that was something that I've been waiting so long for, just to give you a book, to write a book and give it to the world. And I did that this year, and that was so amazing. Like it honestly still feels surreal to me. I don't know if it will ever stop feeling surreal to me. The fact that I wrote this thing and you guys have it. I hope. If you don't, then you need to grab a copy ASAP. Actually, you could also go over to my Instagram because I'm hosting a giveaway currently. It's almost over, but I'm giving away 3 copies of 100 Days of Sunlight. They are hardcover, signed, and personalized for the winners, and they're actually kind of limited edition because they have the flower artwork on the spine. I ended up not going with this design in the final edition of the book, so there's only a couple of these in the whole world, and I'm giving away 3 of them to 3 lucky winners over on my Instagram. So check that out. So yeah, 2019 was amazing. Definitely my favorite year yet, and I hope it was amazing for you as well. Oh, comment below and tell me right now how you found this channel this year. And one thing that you learned about yourself as a writer. It's so important to slow down at the end of the year and take stock and see where we've come, what we've learned. Can we appreciate where we are, even if we didn't accomplish everything we thought we were going to accomplish? Can we still see 2019 as a success, even if it wasn't perfect? These are the kinds of questions that I ask myself during my What's Next retreat. So what the heck is a What's Next retreat, Abby? Great question. It's actually an idea that I stole from Peter Diamandis in his incredible book, Bold, which, by the way, is a great book to kick off your new year with. And I actually don't know what his What's Next retreat looks like. It's just a term that he mentioned, but mine looks like an entire week of doing nothing but planning. Like hardcore brainstorming, journaling, meditating, making plans, making lists, organizing goals, prioritizing things, and just figuring out what my next year is going to look like. I don't actually go anywhere on my retreat. I just shut myself in my office for a week and do nothing but think. It's awesome. Like 10/10 recommended to every creative out there. It's just a great way to start off your new year. So that's what I'm gonna be doing the last week of December after Christmas. And I'll be back here on the channel with the first video of 2020 on January 1st, which is a Wednesday, January 1st, 2020. Okay, let's get to those questions. There are a lot of them. Like, there are so many questions. You guys are great. I'm gonna try to answer as many as possible. Do you plan on writing a 100 Days sequel? You know, I hadn't originally planned on doing that. It feels very much like a standalone to me, and it still feels that way to me, but I did not expect the number of people who would ask this question, because I've gotten this question a lot. So I'm not gonna say never say never, right? That's a motto of mine. And there might be something, there might not be. I'm not gonna tell you yet. Have you ever tried writing scripts? I love that question because you probably noticed that I reference scripts a lot, and I love reading scripts. I love reading screenplays. And yes, I have tried my hand at it a few times, but I haven't really actually written an official screenplay, but I'm definitely brainstorming some, and I've also been kind of trying my hand at adapting my books into screenplays, and that's really fun. How do you motivate yourself to actually finish a story or a book? That's a great question. I've actually talked about it on this channel in various videos, but basically what motivates me and keeps me going through all the hard times is remembering why the story matters to me. Like, I can be in the biggest writing slump ever, and if I really stop myself, get quiet and think, this is why this story matters to me, and think about the story truth, the theme, the overarching theme, the big idea that I want to share with people, that empowers me so much, motivates me so much, drives me really to finish that story. So always remember why your story matters to you. Do you have any genres outside of contemporary that you want to write? Yes, so many, all the genres, except like creepy books, like horror. I'm really not into that. But mystery, yes. I'm plotting like a high fantasy novel, and that's gonna be interesting. I've written some kind of weird mashup genres in the past, and those are pretty fun. They're very different from contemporary, but I like to try all kinds of things. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Making YouTube videos and other cool stuff. What's your favorite thing about creating YouTube videos? You guys. And also just taking my ideas and turning them into like a visual format, communicating ideas. I've always been like really attracted to that. And that's something that I just get a lot of joy out of. Making videos, just the whole process of making videos. I love it, everything about it. What are your top 5 books about writing that you would recommend? I really don't have 5, I have 2. If you're a loyal fan, man, you know which ones I'm gonna pull out. Wired for Story and Story Genius, both by Lisa Cron. These are the best books you will ever read on writing, because I've never seen any other writing books connect psychology with writing and make it make sense the way Lisa Cron does. So definitely check out both her books, but especially Story Genius if you want like a strategy. It's also really funny because I've talked about these books so much on this channel because they have changed my writing life completely, and I love them so much, but I've talked about them so much that on my book page for 100 Days of Sunlight on Amazon, it's like customers also frequently bought Wired for Story and Story Genius, and I'm just like, I love you guys. How did you know your writing was ready to publish? That's a good question because you'll never know. You'll never feel ready, ever. And that's why you have to act before you're ready. Those are wise words from people that are my mentors. That's some of the best advice that I've ever heard and that I will ever give you. Act before you're ready. Are you doing an in-depth series on self-publishing? I want every detail. Yes, I'm going to be doing an in-depth series on self-publishing that's coming in 2020, and I'm gonna tell you more about that at the end of this video and also the New Year's video. I'm gonna tell you more about that. But yes, more videos on Indie Pub are coming. What's the first story you ever wrote? I think it was like a spin-off story based on The Boxcar Children, which was my favorite series growing up. And I literally read like all of those books, like every single one of them. What's your opinion on getting a college degree? Ooh, I think you can learn about anything you want, any way you want, whether that's going to college or learning it online. I personally am more of a free-spirited learner and more of a natural learner, and I like to learn things at my own pace. And I've found that learning experientially has been the best thing for me. So learning about stories from my favorite stories, learning about writing by writing and by studying stories that make me go, oh my God, that was amazing. Okay, well, let's stop right there and let's look at what makes that story amazing. I feel like there are some things that only you can teach yourself. And that's why I always tell you guys to go and look at your favorite stories. Go study them. Don't ask somebody to teach you about them, just go study them yourself. I like to say that masterfully told stories are the best writing teachers you will ever find. How long do you write a day and how many words? Okay, so it fluctuates all the time, but I really like to make at least 3 to 4 hours a day to write. Now that does not happen every single day, and I don't write every single day, but I do like to carve out that time for creativity as much as I possibly can in my schedule because it's such an important thing to me. And I can pretty much write like 2,000 to 2,500 words in 4 hours. So have you ever thought about making a series about writing a series? Character arcs, plotting, etc. Yes, I have, and I am actually currently making notes for a video series on writing a series and outlining a series using the 3-act story structure. Not sure when that's gonna come out because I want it to be really something really great for you guys, so just stay tuned for that. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by doing everything by yourself? I mean about going indie. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like a universal struggle amongst indie authors because you do have to do everything yourself, or you have to hire a team, or you have to, bribe your siblings and your friends into helping you, which is a really good idea actually. And it is kind of overwhelming a lot of the times, but if you make a plan and you know what you're doing and when you're doing it, and you just think about, what am I doing this week? What are my goals for this week? What are my goals for today? Don't think about the whole picture. Don't have to see the whole staircase, right? You just have to see the next step. So just take the next step, and that will help you to not be overwhelmed, but also go into the indie publishing process fully prepared to be overwhelmed, because you're gonna be, no matter what. How do you balance consistent posting on Instagram with writing, book promotion, and regular life? Calendar blocking. Tips for outlining and writing setting. I feel like my world building video will answer that question better than I can right now. Hey, how about let's collab and make 6 figures this year? How about no? How do you decide how long your novel should be? Word count, scenes, chapters, etc. I use the 3-act story structure, and I try to stay around 70 to 80,000 words because that's generally the word count for the average word count for the genre that I write in. So I'd check out the genre that you write in, average word count, and just kind of stick to that, and also use the 3-act story structure because why not? 3-act story structure, good for a picture book. Raquel, who wants to write for children here. Yeah, I would say yeah, definitely good for a children's book because it has the character arc built into it, and that's so important for children's books, right? That have an important theme or big idea that you want to convey to your young, impressionable readers. How do I stop comparing myself to other writers because I'm young and feel like my writing doesn't, your message got clipped off. I'm not actually sure how to see the rest of it, but I would check out this video that I made a little while ago about how to stop comparing yourself to other writers. I think that will help you out. How many novels did you write before 100 Days of Sunlight? That's a cool question. I think I wrote 6 or 7. It is not the first novel I ever wrote, even though it's the first one I published, and I recommend writing quite a few novels before you decide which one is your best that you want to put out into the world, because that's going to be everyone's first impression of you. Would you consider doing a writing podcast that you could listen to on YouTube or Spotify? I like this idea, and it's something I've definitely thought a lot about, and I hope to brainstorm it way more in 2020 because I can totally see myself doing a podcast. What would you be if not an author? A psychologist. You guys probably guessed that, didn't you? When can we expect another book from you? I don't know exactly when, but you can expect another book from me. I can't tell you for sure if it's gonna be 2020. I can't tell you for sure anything. It could be anything. It could be any time. Just wait. What is your favorite place to write physically? Because we all know you write the best in Scrivener. Yes, I do. Scrivener is my favorite. My favorite physical place to write would be at my dining room table, which is so weird because I have a beautiful desk and I like never write at it. How do you stay very positive all the time? I love you. Thank you. I try to stay positive just by focusing on all the things that are going right in my life instead of focusing on the things that aren't going right or the things that I wish I had. Instead, I focus on the things that I do have. I think I'd definitely be considered an optimist. I try to always look on the bright side and just assume that everything is gonna be okay. Some of these questions are so personal. Wow. Do you come from a family of writers? No, I actually don't, which is kind of funny, but my sister is a writer and you should check out her YouTube channel. She's my family of writers. She's the only writer in my family. Your favorite novel genre apart from romance? Probably historical fiction, particularly like World War II fiction. How do you avoid making a character like yourself? That's a good question. I feel like all characters kind of have a piece of me in them because they have to be relatable to some degree in order for me to be able to write them realistically. But basically, I try to make the character very separate from me, and then step 2 is to figure out what I can relate to about them. Is writing fanfiction bad for beginning writers? If yes, why? If not, why? Please drop some tips. 10/10 recommend writing fanfiction as a beginning writer. As any writer, honestly, because fanfiction is a great way to practice character voice and writing in general. It's great. I would so recommend writing fanfiction. I've written tons and tons and tons of fanfiction back in the day that really made me the writer that I am today. Everything that I've learned about writing, I learned through practicing writing and writing fanfiction, and it is so freaking helpful. So yes, I would definitely recommend writing fanfiction. Is it possible for my main character, to have more than one misbelief? Absolutely. I would stick with having one overarching misbelief that's going to be the big aha moment that they have, the big idea, the main overarching truth for your story, but you can definitely have other misbeliefs in there because, hey, we're human. We all have multiple misbeliefs. We have lots of beliefs that are wrong, and beliefs make you who you are. So it's not just one, absolutely not just one. Feel free to make many of them. But if you do have one kind of big idea for your novel, the main overarching story truth, I would stick with that being the misbelief that you focus on the most. What is your best memory from this year? Definitely publishing 100 Days of Sunlight. One big thing you learned about indie publishing. Oh gosh, there's so many things I've learned about indie publishing this year. I guess the biggest thing is that even though you have to do everything yourself, you also can't do it alone, which sounds really contradictory, but relying upon the people who are your support system is gonna get you through indie publishing your novel. Plans for next year, writing and YouTube wise. That's a great question to end on because I'm going to talk about that next. Thank you guys for asking me all those fun questions, and I'm sorry if I didn't get to answer yours, but never fear, there are other ways to ask me questions. One of my favorite ways is on my VIP podcast. So every single month, I sit down in my studio and record a special podcast, totally unedited, of me answering your questions. And you can access this podcast and ask me questions every single month, even specifically about your story, by joining my Patreon. Also on the Patreon, you can get access to my private Facebook group for the Writer's Life Wednesday community, and that's where I hang out with you guys and share techniques and memes and live streams, and we have a lot of fun. So if you want to take your writing to the next level and connect personally with me, go to patreon.com/Abbie Emmons and check out all the awesome exclusive content that I've made over there just for you. Okay, so 2020 is gonna be an awesome year. I can't reveal too much about my secret projects, but just know that I have some really exciting things planned. My biggest goal for this channel in 2020 is to take everything to the next level. I want to go deeper and really explore the depths of storytelling. I want to make something super special that will give you total confidence in your story and in all of your writing. And I can't tell you what that thing is yet, but it's coming 2020. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, and by the way, hit that little bell icon so that you are the first to know when I drop a new video. And I won't be doing that over the holidays because what's next, retreat? But I will be posting a new video, the first video of 2020 on January 1st. I am so excited for this new year. It is going to be even better than 2019. So until next year, my friend, rock on.